most watched in the Mid-South. This is Fox 13 News.
Roads in the town of Reeves turned into rivers, swamping homes, prompting rescues. Devastation in New Orleans 20 years ago. Flooding turned Hurricane Katrina into one of the deadliest disasters in U.S. history. Now, these two floods, though far different in scale, do have a common cause. Both were the results of failed levees. A Severe Weather Center 13 investigation found many levees across the Mid-South are unregulated, unmapped, and you may not even know if one protects your home. Fox 13's meteorologist Chelsea Chandler unravels the mystery behind those simple mounds of dirt.
We did have a levee breach, which brought all more water in.
A river over Reeves.
It's been worse than I've ever seen it before. It is truly a life-threatening event here.
Rainfall that should happen only once in a generation breached the levee protecting the town from the Obion River in February. Water poured in and inundated homes. In April, another historic rainfall and another flood. This time, levee breaches helped Reeves as much as they hurt. Water ran over levees south of the town, draining floodwater from there into Dyer County.
I get real emotional. All this flooded water. Starting all over. Think about starting all over.
Far more infamously, with families stranded on roofs praying for rescue. Hurricane Katrina flooded 80% of New Orleans. The deadliest series of levee breaches in U.S. history.
The trauma of it wouldn't leave you, especially when you lose family members. I lost my 5-year-old cousin in a hurricane.
Flooding kills more Americans every year, more than any other type of weather besides heat, more than hurricanes, tornadoes, or lightning. And it's levees that protect lives and homes from floods, though you may never know they even exist.
On a typical rain or an above average rain that we get here, I think most of our levee system will hold. Now, can I guarantee that? No.
Danny Carr oversees emergency management for Obion County. He coordinated rescues for families in Reeves during February and April's floods. The levee that breached was built to protect the town, out of sight and out of mind for many homeowners. So deep in the woods, it took Drone 13 5 minutes of flying just to find it.
It is inspected routinely. West Tennessee River Basin maintains that levee, so they do inspect. They're actually, at this point, they've done repair work on that levee from the last flooding in April.
Many levees, like the Obion, are overseen and maintained by local levee districts. In this case, the West Tennessee River Basin Authority. It does not show up on the National Levee Database. In fact, none of the levees that breached in Obion or Dyer counties appear on that database that's operated by the Army Corps of Engineers. It maps out 2,000 levees nationwide, spanning more than 12,000 miles. 26% of them are maintained by the Army Corps, including the Wolf River Backwater System that protects 12,000 people in the Hollywood and New Chicago communities and includes Levee Road. 52% of levees in the database are maintained by state and local governments, and about 9% by regional districts. Still, many others are not on the database at all, like this one that protects Pleasant Hill Road from Sunrise Lake in DeSoto County. Some are on private property, some operated by neighborhood associations, others on farmland to protect crops from floods. These levees are not regulated or mapped, and may be protecting or endangering your home without you knowing or suspecting that there's a levee there at all.
This railroad embankment behind me is one of the last lines of defense from rising water for the homes around it. Now, it wasn't an engineered levee, nor is it federally maintained, but it has become one of the last lines of defense for this community.
Rob Rash is chief engineer of the St. Francis Levee District. He says there's no federal standard for levees, how tall they are, how they're built, or how they're maintained.
It's just not realistic because of the magnitude and differences of magnitude in flow in each of these channels.
The St. Francis District protects 8 counties in Arkansas from the Mississippi River. The district receives tax revenue, has full-time workers for maintenance, and works alongside the Army Corps. But even with this level of oversight, there are still unknowns.
We are only responsible for those levee systems that are within the Mississippi River and Tributaries Project in those 8 counties. The private levees and on private property, we don't have any responsibility for.
Compounding the lack of levee information is an increased risk of heavy rain and flooding due to climate. As temperatures get warmer, more moisture can build up in the atmosphere. That causes heavier downpours, especially in the Mid-South, when that moisture combines with humid air rising from the Gulf. All of that means more historic rainfall, like that once-in-a-generation storm that overwhelmed the tiny town of Reeves.
If we get an above average, slightly above average rain, we're going to have flooding.
That may lead you to ask, what about downtown Memphis and its protection from the mighty Mississippi? We are not protected by a levee here, but instead by the bluffs. This puts valuable land at a higher elevation than the river. Still, levees stand across the Mid-South, including in Memphis. Some registered with the Army Corps, some you may never even suspect. In Memphis, I'm meteorologist Chelsea Chandler, Fox 13 News.